Phel Me Podcast, and we're at an undisclosed location because I'm not giving out the address, and we all know why. But I'm here right now with Andrew Charles. He's a personal trainer, single dad,
It's good.
pop fan, beef KB, guys. So tell me a little bit about what you do, where you work, and let's get started right there.
So I've been training for 14 years. I've been head trainer at 3 different locations. I have a degree in exercise science. I love what I do. It's very rewarding at the end of the day when I go home. It's like, oh my gosh, I've done so much when I reflect.
But your clientele is massive. I mean, we met, what, 8 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always got a following of at least 30 people. I've trained with clients for years, and I've got a good track record. I'd like to think.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You have a very good following on Facebook and Instagram as well. You put content out there. Your clients allow you to film them and their successes. You put the before and afters.
Yeah.
And you just said you capped out at 30?
Well, no.
I capped out at 12.
Yeah, it's give and take. I keep a big following because I'm able to handle so many clients. I've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
It is a juggle trying to, getting text messages. Can I reschedule? What's my diet for today? What's my workout for today? And different things like that. But like I said, man, it's so rewarding. You just have to meet their needs and their fulfillment and stuff like that.
And you do more one-on-one.
So I will say that at the place that I'm at now, All Good Fitness, I've never worked at a more upbeat, more motivational spot. Like it's home for me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's downtown, right? Yeah, we make it like home. You're like family. We genuinely care about getting the results that you're after. If you want to lose weight, if you want to build muscle, and
Or
stuff like that.
maintain.
Or maintain. Some people
Yeah,
just
some
want to
people
maintain.
do want to maintain.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how can they get started? Is there any free consultations?
So
Or
if
can
you
bring a
go
friend? What are they?
please bring as many people as you can. Go to allgoodfitness.com, allgoodfitnessdowntown.com, and sign up for the initial consultation. You can direct message myself on Facebook. You look up Andrew Charles. You just
Links will be in the bio.
Oh, great. Okay, I'll put it perfect. Yeah, so just find me on social media, and I guarantee you will not regret it. We can definitely change your life.
Well, I know for sure. I've worked with you for a couple of years. I got that privilege when I first started. So you and Trey, y'all were kind of like my mentors because I was just starting. Y'all had already been in it for a minute.
Right. So the biggest thing when it comes to getting new people started is disrupting patterns.
Yeah.
We fall into a rut with our life, and it's like the same stuff over and over. It could be problems. It could be mental health. It could be stress, kids, time.
Yeah.
The list goes on.
Yeah.
But it's as a fitness professional, we have to break those patterns, make it fun, inspirational. Keeping you wanting to come back is the name of the game.
Yeah.
And then you start seeing the results, all the muscles start to form on your body, or you start to lose that 10 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's like it makes all the difference in the world.
It really does because I do a 21-day challenge with my clients, and that's in everything. So I run filming, so I do social media marketing, photography, makeup. I do it all.
Great.
And when I take over someone's social media, I have to break their habits of either not doing it sporadically, or putting up the wrong content. So I stop them, stop doing that for the next 21 days. This is what we're going to do. And I give them a layout, and we just go balls to the wall. And they just reconfigure their brain to break that habit. And put this, and it's the same thing in nutrition. It's the same thing in wellness. If you at least 21 days get your brain to start doing a different habit every day, it really does. People don't realize.
So when you set yourself around high caliber people that have succeeded in different areas, those habits begin to rub off on you. You know what I'm saying? And those are the people that you want to surround yourself with. So like, oh my gosh, and this is a whole nother. But like, if you're around negative people, guess what kind of mindset you're gonna have?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you're around successful people that make money, you're gonna start seeing money happen. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Because I know, just like in my life, I've hung out with different caliber people.
Yeah.
And I thought if I hung out with like a lower caliber person, maybe like a lower caliber mother that doesn't have her kids and she's lonely, you know what I mean? I could befriend her and help her feel good about herself, to get her kids back, And I realized quickly that no, that person is where she's at or where they're at because of the choices that they made, and I was like sinking with them. And so I started realizing I need to be with a woman and hang out with women that are single moms that do have businesses.
Absolutely.
And I ran into Taryn. She's wonderful. She's in the community. But you're totally right because going through my divorce, like,
And it's
caliber
it's
people are
easy
hard to find.
after a breakup, especially. It's easy to get down in the dumps, and we let our guard down. I feel like during the relationship process, we put our trust, we put our hearts into that person, and then for one reason or another, life happens.
Yeah.
And life tends to happen a lot these days, you know what I'm saying? So, and then it's like we get into a bad headspace. So I feel like, I mean, that might be a good area to touch base on is kind of a breakup, because that's something that we go through a lot in life, unfortunately.
Honestly, the healing process, nutrition, and wellness is the best thing. The first thing you should do after a breakup is just
Kind of
get
dive into
yourself
self-care.
right. I
Mhm.
mean, your mentality is going to come once you feel good about yourself and you're not groggy, you're not
It goes hand in hand. It's gonna take right.
so that's like probably the best therapy for a breakup is working out.
Being around good
And
people, influential people, right? Listening to content.
yeah,
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you invited me today.
yeah,
I'm just ready to pour into everybody.
yeah, for real. Let's do it.
So yeah.
For sure.
So right. When I broke up with my son's mom. Well, first off, we broke up. It was tough. Like I took to drinking a little bit, and I mean, it's pretty common stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I think what brought me back was just putting things in perspective and understanding that my son is going to be fine.
Yeah.
We have to be the light for our children, especially if there's kids involved.
Yeah.
And if not, you have to be your best self for just the people around you in general, like, for your family, your loved ones, and stuff like that.
And yourself.
Yeah. So, like me personally, I've always had good habits with working out. I've always dove into like self enrichment books, like oh man, just
The self-healing.
self-healing mentality,
Yeah,
books
me
like
too.
that, and
Yeah.
inspirational books like that, just so I can learn. Because one thing that we're always going to battle in life is emotions and feelings.
Yeah.
And like a tidal wave, they will knock you over if you don't know how to manage them. If you're not managing your feelings and emotions, that shit can devastate you. Some people will suffer from depression. Some people suffer from, just being stressed, anxiety, being stressed all the time.
Yeah.
So one drill that I do constantly is called a coherence drill. And it's coined by the the Institution of Heart and Math. Uh, uh, and they coined it coherent heart-based emotion. So, oh God, don't think being married or anything. When I was in high school, I had a band director and I played the trombone, right? And they said, if you want to have a beautiful sound from your instrument, you have to sustain long tones, like a long tone, right? So similarly, we have like a breath, right? Like a certain pitch, like you want to play like a G, right? You have to hold that pitch. Well, similarly, we have all these feelings: happiness, sadness, being upset. So let's choose happiness, for instance, right? So I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna do a drill that I normally do. I'll just emit happiness and I'll try and radiate it for 30 seconds. And for some people, it's impossible to clear that mental clutter, that cloud, that insecurity for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But the more we are able to kind of do that drill, the more our mind will conform to those patterns throughout the day. And it sounds so silly. It might sound simple, but give it a shot. It might change your life.
It doesn't sound silly. That's almost like, I mean, not to redirect into another like portion of like my thing, but every time I go to a stoplight, I do an out crunch, like an iteration of the stoplight. And then when the stoplight's over, I relax. Every stop sign, every time I come to a stoplight, I keep my core tight. So now I just walk around with like a tight core because lights and stuff are happening so often.
Right.
So I can totally see right that 30.
All the time. You gotta shut up.
My hands I do that like
Well, good.
we have like 30 seconds. You're moving. In about 30 seconds. For like
Okay, so no much.
30 seconds. I mean, we go like, yeah.
A stoplight. I mean, there are these little moments that we can find to implement the simplistic drills
I like the way
for success. It's really true. You know what I'm saying?
it's almost like the humming, like
Right. So where it becomes a meditation almost. Yeah. Right. Yeah, it becomes a meditation. So that's just one drill. Because breaking up is hard. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really tough.
And it's hard.
But it's tough. Exactly. Yeah.
Everyone's wrong, but
So life in general is tough. I know being a trainer, I've got to be upbeat and I've got to stay motivated and I have to basically be the light for my clients, right? Every day. So guess what? Instead of listening to music, I do content. I do a lot of Goggins, who's like really extreme. So if you're into the gym, if you are a jogger, even I've seen oh god, people that watch a lot of like UFC fighters, and a guy named David Goggins. Really cool content, really motivational. But yeah, I'm doing that. I do a lot of Tom Bellew, Lisa Bellew. I don't know if you've seen. I know I saw you make some posts about Lisa.
I do.
So she's really cool. So Tom Bellew is Lisa's husband. He's the founder of the Quest Bar.
Okay.
Yeah. So they made the Quest Bar, and his content with impact theory and oh god, his other podcast or whatever is super awesome. So I dive into that. It's all content. It's never music anymore.
Yeah, because sometimes music's not as positive these
You know what I'm
days.
saying? Especially music nowadays. That's what I'm saying. It's like shake your butt and like
You're gonna have these
like it's crazy. So instead of jamming music, now there's content. So I'm able to absorb what I'm listening to and transfer that to my clients.
Joe Rogan is kind of
Rogan, massive.
massive
Popular guy.
Yeah, I've been on a Joe Rogan kick lately
Cool.
because of my voice.
And he's so cool. Like he's very mild mannered.
Dude,
His delivery is
and it all makes sense. Even the panels that he has, the different people, I may not know who they are, but the message that I'm getting, that I go look them up and now I'm following them, and he's put like so many people out there, and he's kind of like who I look up to as far as like podcasting and getting a message.
Right.
Because he never says anything that's bullshit or doesn't make sense.
Super real.
It's never a podcast of just like banter.
Right.
So like he's like up there. That's
so he did one with David Goggins. That was pretty cool.
He did one.
Oh gosh. Oh my god. Really extreme. I mean, this is an extreme guy.
Talks.
He's an extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to you, but he talks at you, but the message gets across.
So real.
Yeah.
That's what I makes. There's like there's and you know a lot of conversation nowadays between people is so encoded with what's the alternative motives and different stuff. I don't. You gotta keep it simple.
Yeah.
Straight. You know what I'm saying? Keep it simple and be real. And that's what we get from podcasts like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
No, I do too. Yeah. Shout out to Joe. Not that he knows who we are.
Yeah, it's okay. So, you know, guys, it's not right about us, right?
No, but we're like, okay, so we're gonna circle back to um you going through breakup and you're a single dad. So struggle being a single dad, having 1,000 clients, and then you still have personal goals you're working towards to fit in between there. Because I mean, we're working on ourselves constantly too. That, you know. So like, how do you juggle it all?
So, man, okay, so that's a great question.
Yeah, because people are gonna ask like, how does this guy have 100 million clients? He's a dad.
It comes
You're here.
It comes down to I know I'm here. It comes down to priorities. You know, obviously you have to take care of your workload to provide for your living situation for your family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But even before so, I put God first. I put Jesus, my creator first. But after that, it's you know, the feeling of love and being true to yourself. You know what I'm saying? I've created a filter, and it's like, well, fuck, is my son happy? Like, is he genuinely happy? Let me talk to him. Let me see how he feels. Okay, I got a volunteer. Boom, now he's happy again. But at the same time, there's so much that goes into that. Maybe you're teaching him manners or something like that throughout the way, because Walmart becomes a fucking adventure. We're here around a bunch of strangers. You know, we're 5 now. It's about to be 6 in November.
Why?
He's a little guy. I'm gonna bless your heart. Like preteens, that's something different, man.
We've gone through it twice. He's graduated this year.
So you got more experience now. So any coaching from you like I said, any coaching from you would be much appreciated while my guy's 5 and 6.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. So at the same time, I'm a loving dad, but I've got to be Papa Bear.
And you gotta get exerted.
Yes, exactly.
This is the age where we teach them about body shaming women and respect towards women because they're going to be going to school soon.
Absolutely.
And there's so many kids that see things at home that they reciprocate. So you know, that was my main concern because I've been in some not so good relationships when they were that age.
Right.
And that was my main concern.
At home.
It's just
Yes.
at this age,
Right.
I want them when they get older, they respect women and
Absolutely.
they speak accordingly, you know. And they're gonna learn that from you, obviously, because you're a good man and you're gonna instill that. But if you're like, I'm a single mom, I didn't have a man.
And that's what it's like, leading by example.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, leading by example.
And I was bringing them
I remember that. I remember that.
and they were raised at that time with you, and Trey, Jay, Herschel.
Group.
So
All inspirational and later.
and we were there for like 3 years almost.
Yeah.
So my olders, like they remember all that, and you know, luckily Jay still comes around.
Oh, great.
Has been in their life, you know, when he can.
Yeah.
But those kind of guys have always like been in their brain. Like, Mom, do you remember that one guy? He was like this tall. Remember?
Very charismatic.
And I'm like,
Yes.
so
Yeah. Right.
I did have a pivotal moment in my boys' office.
Right.
And they started working out because of my dad. Because, you know,
I used to love micro monkeys where the trainers would take the kids and would show them how to work out.
kids and
Yeah, right. So having an athletic young person does set a good tone in that for health and just different stuff like that. You learn to deal with adversity if you're playing sports as a 5 or 6 year old and stuff like that. So my guy plays t-ball. We're in basketball, and now we're gonna try flag football. So I'm a little nervous about flag football. I know I'm a little nervous, but
I looked at his dad was playing like tackle football.
what?
Pee-wees.
No way.
He still plays touch. Yeah.
That's great.
But you know, he was the only dumb kid on the field, but nobody could tell. And you know, the coaches had good hand signals.
Such good awareness.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Wow. See,
Yeah.
I'd be petrified. How you dealt with that? You're telling me.
Brothers were football players. I was a
So-
cheerleader my whole life, so I
Right.
really raised watching, you know, and dating football players.
That's great.
So when I threw my boys out there, it was just kind of like,
This is where you belong.
and you know, the first year he got a concussion, pretty bad. So we had to pull it out, and they made championships like World Series or what is it? No, what is it? Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He didn't get to play the Super Bowl game, but he got to go because the game before they were so validated that like he worked hard and got a concussion, and people are like, "You're not going to pull him out." And I'm like, "It's part of the game, you know."
Yeah.
But
At that age,
he didn't take
man.
a year off because he is hard of hearing, and we didn't want any more hearing loss or whatever. But
It's better to be safe. You know,
like
it's better
soccer,
to be safe. Soccer's fun.
and then piano.
A lot of running in soccer.
keyboard.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to get running into piano, but I don't know a good piano instructor. You might.
We do keyboard, and
Sure.
because I work with a lot of bands,
Mm.
I have a couple of guys that just kind of,
Awesome.
you know, I'll take them under my wing, and
Yeah.
so yeah,
They say they do better in school if they play piano. I
it's a
did.
different part of your brain.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I did band all throughout school, ever since middle school, and I hear music differently now. Like I'll hear a rhythm, like that's really cool. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, I didn't do band in high school. I did basketball, cheerleading, volleyball, and softball. So my parents were like, "You're either in band or you're in sport."
Oh my gosh!
You get to-
I got to do all of it. I was like
Yeah.
football, track, basketball, golf.
I
Band.
understand. I had an older brother and a younger brother, and me and my older brother are 12 months apart.
Wow.
So he's
Yeah.
playing all these things, and I'm going to national cheerleading competitions.
And cheer's expensive.
It's super expensive
Cheer
and
is
fun, though.
super
It like
expensive.
shaped
It's
me.
fun, yeah.
And I always used to think, like,
I
as a
can tell
cheerleader,
your upbeat personality. It's great. It's
right?
fun. It's fun to
Just
hear.
pronunciate things, and I think
I need that habit. I really do.
it was because I was going to have a deaf child. Because now he reads lips and
Enunciation.
reads,
So you
yeah.
got just the enunciation.
Cheer,
Yeah. Great. That's awesome.
Excuse me, it set me up for, you know, a good time when I got older because he ended up having a deaf child, and it has to be a beat for the kids, right? So when your son's having a bad day and he's like just done, do you tell him like, let's do that breathing thing, let's like center ourselves, or do you?
So I've thought about this before. Like anytime he's really upset, first off I let him know it's a safe space to identify what's going on.
Yeah.
So give him a hug, like, hey, man, like what's going on? Well, I want a toy, or I'm sad, or I want to go somewhere. That's usually what it is.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'll just be myself, and I'll tell him, hey, like it's gonna be okay. We'll go there, and I'll kind of just outline my son. As long as we have an outline, he's good. Like he wants to know where we're at, what we're doing, where we're going, and what's next. Like as long as he has that, he's fine.
Plan.
A plan, yeah. Okay. Me, I'm like, I'm just gonna write that. I'll just like, because if I'm not working, I'm taking care of him, and he sets the tone for the plan.
Yeah.
So I'll make the plan, and then I'll just refer back to that plan, and I'll go through.
So that he likes to be kept on a schedule.
Yeah.
That's
So
good
yeah,
job.
and he's a Scorpio. So as long as he has that, he's in tune with what's going on, and I provide that for him. I cater to him. I'm able because I've only got one.
Yeah.
So I'm able, I don't got to fight for anyone else's attention. It's just me and him
Yeah.
when I spend time with him. So I'm able to pour into him lessons, mannerism, and just things like that.
Yeah. Okay, so how is the co-parenting with the mom, and do you have him
So,
50/50? Is it so like you
it's,
can do your schedule one week on, you're like on it with him, and then you get that week to rest, or how does it?
yeah, so we're actually 50-50 right now, which is great. Going into my relationship with her, when we first got together, she had 3 kids from her first husband.
Okay.
So I was an automatic stepdad just by default, right? And for 8 years we were in that situation, and then I noticed that she was just a great co-parent. You know what I'm saying? So um, there was no really hiccups or anything with their dad or anything. It was just good co-parenting.
Yeah.
So I expected that, and sure enough, that's kind of what happened. So no, it's been as long as there's communication. It's been real civil.
Good.
So I've been blessed now. I don't have to fight like you son of a gun, like or anything
Yeah.
like that. Like that's not the case for most people, but it's just as long as there's communication, try and keep all the pettiness and
It's just about
try not to
him now.
poke jabs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's easy to do that. I mean, we on both sides we can both poke jabs, but at the end of the day, it's about taking care of the kids.
Like what's right for the
What's right for the babies,
Yeah.
and when your baby grows up, do you want them to deal with a bad co-parent?
Yeah.
Set a good example.
Yeah, my boys.
Set the best example that you can. I know it's sick.
My youngest one's dad's in the picture and stuff, and it's very, we don't do anything by the court, or, everything is civilly
Right.
between me and him. We don't speak about anything unless it's about our son. We never bring up each other's things, you know what I mean, or what we're going through here or here. We talk about each other fully in front of him. You know what I mean?
Good.
My older,
Sees that.
yeah,
Really good.
yeah, and his dad always, it's been respectful to me, even after, everything. My boys call me beautiful angel face because that's what he called me, you know what I mean, for years. So my boys opened my door because they saw him do it, not that they saw my ex. He started doing it and then just stopped one day, never did it again.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but
That's when things turn around, right?
yeah, so the way you are with your son, and like kudos, because a lot of people need to hear that it's possible.
And it just comes down to communication. There are times when he's like, uh, when it first happened, he's like, when are you coming back home? And I'm like, oh, son, like,
Yeah,
it's tough.
yeah,
You just have to sit there and have those heartfelt conversations. And as long as you're true to yourself, as long as you're true to your kids, and expect if you've got a bad situation, if y'all are bickering back and forth, just be like, look, this was mommy's and daddy's, and at one time we were in love or felt for each other, but now we just can't stand each other. Yeah, and at that point it's okay. They're able to wrap their little mind.
they really are.
They're resilient.
They're so
I
resilient.
was so worried my 4-year-old was gonna lose his marbles because mom and dad weren't together. Like
Yeah,
I had never been through a separation before like
yeah,
that with a kid. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do? But he turned out to be Superman, like
yeah,
nice little Superman.
yeah. They're like, yeah. I remember, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The older is like, they're 16, or well, they were 15 and 17. They met their biological dad, which is my ex-husband, that disappeared. In November, they met him. We kind of talked here and there, you know what I mean? Now we're in September of this year. He had a baby, and I thought the kids would be like, okay, like I'm ready to like get to know him, and they're like, oh, I'm glad I met him. I'm glad he worked us.
They're
Like, I'm
used to
glad,
mom at this point.
but they're like,
Sure.
he just needs
They
to,
have their own thing going on.
yeah, like they're at that age and they're so strong in their beliefs that like I can forgive him, but he can stay over there. Because that's how I taught them. Like, you can forgive people, but they don't have to stay in your life, you know? And they met him, they had a time, you know?
Yeah.
And
But
but they're just like,
at that
okay,
point, I feel like he would.
we're good.
At that point, I feel like he would have maybe work to do if he wanted to be in their lives. Make an
Yeah.
impression or
But I think it was
Sure.
closure for them to see him in person and just
exactly.
kind of vibe and see if that vibe was there. And they kind of were like, you know, Mom, thank you for giving us the opportunity because I didn't freak out or nothing that he wanted to whatever.
Yeah.
And but I know them being around like my dad and my brothers and been like you over these years, it's kind of that tough, like, okay, I can bridge that gap and they're not girly like me because they're not whiny boys. You know what I mean? Because they were raised by women mostly. Like,
Yeah.
geez.
So it's good to have those tough guys. I know. That's what I tell my son. Like, hey, be tough.
Yeah. Like,
Anytime there's this, hey,
shake it off.
you know what I mean? Put some dirt on it and keep going.
No. That's so it. So we're gonna start talking a little bit about the men's health and we have breast cancer awareness. Men can totally get breast cancer. So what are some things that men can do to just keep healthy year round? Like just, I mean, obviously hydrate, but
Yeah. Okay, so we'll go through the full checklist real quick. So it's got to be diet.
Yeah.
Everything that manifests on our body comes from the things that we intake. And a lot of us are eating maybe 2, maybe 3 times a day if we're lucky, right?
Yeah.
So, oh God, I will say that the human body is made of proteins. Well, so it's gonna be a big spiel, okay? So check this out. This is my professional spiel that I give my brand new clients. So you guys, this is worth money, so pay close attention. The human body is made of about 20 different types of proteins, okay? They reconfigure themselves to make your skin, your nails, your muscles, your bone tissue. All these tissues need maintenance and repair. So every 2 to 3 hours, your body's looking for this repair, okay? So it comes from at least 5 meals a day. And you're like, holy smokes, well, 5 meals, I'll never have that.
I do.
And that's why, okay, that's why you're in the shape that you are. Kudos to you.
Because I do 80-20.
What's that?
80% good, 20% bad.
Oh.
The 20% that I eat on a daily basis that's bad is usually alcohol.
For alcohol, hey, to each their right.
And that's because I'm a fitness nutrition specialist.
Right.
And so when I build my meal plans, they're, you know, based on exactly what you're talking about. Everybody's specific needs. Everybody needs to go get a body comp scan.
Yeah.
Nobody has the same regimen. Nobody has the same ingredients because everybody likes different tastes.
Right.
Different ingredients. So
as long as you're, I've been taught that as long as you're on a diet, it's working.
Yeah.
But I will say, get the data points.
Yeah.
Like, I used to do the mirror test. Holy smokes, I look good in the mirror. This is perfect.
No.
But you'll never know if your diet's working if you don't have your body fat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your breakdown. You want to know how much your muscle weighs in pounds, how much your water weighs in pounds, and how much your fat mass weighs in pounds. Otherwise, you won't know if your diet is working or not.
And your portions. Those scans tell you what side of your body is more proportion so that you can alter your regimen to coordinate to grow.
Where do you get your in-bodies from? Where do you tell your clients to get all that?
Box stuff, because they keep it. I mean, they're local everywhere. They got one in Calala, you know what I mean? So none of my clients would say, oh, well, there's not one here.
Yeah.
Or
wherever's close.
A lot of my clients, doctors will give them a scan when they go to their, because I have some on diuretics, dialysis. I have, an amputee. So I go to their appointments with them and so I can get their numbers a little bit more accurately. But if for just regular clients, Rocks is just wonderful about it. They keep it on schedule. Sometimes they don't.
The Rock. I know the Rock. He's really cool. He's always known Rock for forever.
He's sponsored the competition room. Remember?
Did breakfast today.
Good. So they've been very helpful with that and keeping registry.
We have to have these data points, and they keep they do keep your
gym though, because some people get with the hand, and I'm like,
so it's not that accurate. It's a good kind of a like a rule of thumb, like, okay, you've lost consistently lost a point or two in body fat based off of the handheld. But a more accurate measurement would be the in-body test, right? So get your data points. Okay, getting back to the breakdown. Our target tissues need maintenance, okay? So your eyes are blinking all day. There's wear and tear. you're working out and you're literally tearing your muscle fibers. There's literally little microfractures in your muscle fibers. So it costs energy for these muscle fibers to heal. So while you're healing, let's say you worked out chest for your workout regimen. You're doing chest, you're doing flies, and you get sore. Well, it takes 3 days for those muscles to heal. So you're burning calories while maintaining these muscles for up to 3 whole days. Now newbies go into the gym and they're like, "Holy smokes! Like I'm gonna do what's the motion? I'm gonna do cardio. I'm gonna burn so much fat, right? We are only burning that fat for maybe 45, maybe 30 minutes while you're doing cardio. So you tell me what burns more calories, 3 days or 30 minutes?
Yeah.
3 days, right. So now on top of having that healthy diet, you're gonna build that lean muscle back. But not only that lean muscle, also your target tissues are getting maintenance. If this is empty, this is not thinking correctly. So your quality of life is diminishing. Your choices throughout the day, you got to think about your kids, your work, your car, your bills, your house, and all these things. But because you're not full satiated, your quality of life is going down. So you have to have those 5 meals. Now, getting back to the disease part, this is where disease can stem from because our DNA will begin to oxidize if we don't have that food on hand. And that's massively important to our health and mental health as well. So on top of so like just like we have to eat, we also need checkups from the doctor. We could be eating, we could have all 5 meals on check in check, but now we have kidney failure or just something random like that. Our kidney could be functioning at 50% or something crazy like that.
But that actually is so true because one of my clients just went through that. We switched his diet up completely. He was on 14 medications when we started. He was feeling lightheaded, and we started
A lot of those. A lot of those.
because his diet was changing. The need for some of these medications he didn't need,
Dwindling down.
still taking them.
So
So
what happened?
he ended up having kidney failure. And I
Mhm.
took him to the hospital, and it's because he had changed his diet drastically and lost so much weight and was still taking these meds he didn't need that they were dehydrating him at this point.
Yeah.
So he was completely dehydrated. Uh, and now, they went, he was in there 4 or 5 days. We did, all these tests, and now he's on 6 medications. He went from 14 to 6 in 21 days.
I'm gonna give you a high five for that one. That's great. That's really good.
And I keep, telling
Still going.
they don't tell me that there's certain signs that they're feeling or whatever. And he kept saying my head's kind of heavy. This never really happened. And I remember him telling me the night before he kind of had diarrhea after he took this, certain medications. He's been feeling kind of gross. And
it's funny as a trainer, we have to ask all. That's why it's called personal training. You get really personal.
Tell me your bowel movements. Tell me what's been going on, like for the last 24 hours, because he sends me. He was diabetic too, so he pricked his finger a lot. So now he doesn't have to. So I don't get the pictures as much as I used to. So like I'm constantly like, okay, I didn't get the picture. And he's like, because it was a good number. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But yeah, he had kidney failure
Wow.
when we got there, and that was why we took him off all these meds, and it was because we changed his nutrition
That's really true.
so extensively, and it was exactly what he needed. But it did cause those kind of, you're right, for liver, kidney function.
Once we are able to get the diet where it needs to be, we start to thrive.
Yeah.
So he probably was emitting the right hormones, and all the right stuff that the body should be, like all the hormones that you should be emitting. So at that point, it's like.
And I'm cooking his meals myself.
Oh, cool. Great.
So like just to see like the dramatics of it. So I think if he were to be cooking himself his food, it wouldn't have been that drastic for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just because some people measure different or whatever. But yeah, you're right. Guys need to get checked more often as well.
It's important. I'm telling you, oh God, we think we're going to be young forever. Like, I'm 38 now. I hate to admit my age on the podcast, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, but I've noticed that things are creaking. My soreness is.
Are you sure?
That picture. But no, I stay sore longer. I'm noticing that I have to stretch more. It's a little bit harder for me to get out of bed. But I maintenance pretty well, and I train pretty darn hard. Yeah, you have to get checked up. It's very important.
So how many times do you stretch? Like, how long do you stretch for? Because I stretch like every morning and every evening just to kind of stay like flexible and limber. You know what I mean?
So since I live in the gym,
Guys don't
I'm
stretch.
able to stretch at least 3 times a day.
Good.
Depending on your activity, like you're saying, the best times to stretch during your activity is morning and evening.
Yeah.
Almost mandatory.
Yeah.
Like before, like when you wake up,
Yeah.
get that stretch. Get that daily stretch. And before you go to bed, get that daily stretch just for circulation, so you can go to bed and be refreshed when you wake up. It's really important. There's just these little habits that I mean, it all boils down to little habits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like we identified in the beginning, you have to set yourself up for success just by changing these little habits. So as professionals, it's our job to break those patterns. So if someone comes in having a bad day, I'm like, hey, let's go. Time to work.
And then it's got time to make you happy.
Funny, we're charismatic, we're energetic, but we get the job done.
Yeah.
So a lot of people come to me and they're like, hey, so I've watched this new TikTok, and it's like you're learning all these exercises from TikTok, like people that aren't clients, suggest, or like YouTube or Google, this and that. I'm like, all right, well, fine, but like when somebody wants to learn an art, like karate or fucking golf or something like that, do you go to TikTok? Do you go to Google?
YouTube.
YouTube? No. You go to a professional. So similarly, if you want the correct form
that's what I was about
and to see some tremendous results, you have to see a professional, and we will help you get the job done on many more levels.
But they're also watching people that are endurance, that have been doing it for a while, so therefore, I mean, they can just go balls to walls and they try to like implement, and then they get injured. And it's like,
and then just what I'm saying. It's really true. Like you will hurt yourself. It's a real possibility.
Yeah, it's a thing.
So no, I'm not saying don't.
Yeah.
First, seek the help and guidance of a professional so you can get your form and technique down, and then dive into all the stuff you want to dive into.
To make it look good on film.
To make it look good. Get your camera game unlocked.
So my website has free workouts because I came across a lot of people giving me excuses. Well, I can't afford to go to the gym, or I don't have the time to go to the gym, or I have a kid, or I want nobody to see my fat body, or blah blah blah. Over years, I've been using this shit, and so on my website now, I have 3 workouts: 30 minutes HIIT, cardio, and a total body. Do it at home. There's YouTube videos to show you the exercise if you don't know how to do it. And so I gave people no excuse. You don't even have to pay for it. It's free. It's on my website. You just go to my website. Do you have something like that? Do you have like a website that they can go to see daily workout regimens that you're giving daily advice, or just more social media?
More social media. I try and get the person in front of me so we can start talking shop as far as goals and what they want to do.
Yeah, there's too many people with excuses.
They're really.
This would bridge that gap. At least you can go to my website and start doing something at home.
Perfect. That's a good start.
And then if they like it and they feel like, okay, what she had, and then they come to me like, okay, now I'm ready to do, the online training. Right. Or, I do a lot of
do you do in person?
Yeah, but I go to their houses mostly, like, because they have gyms. Like I told you, I have a small amount of clients that pay more for certain services. So, you know what I mean? So I'd rather do that. Yeah.
Get the actual quality versus the volume.
Yeah, but like I said, a lot of these are like, I have an amputee. I have one that's dialysis.
At All Good Fitness Downtown, we do small group training. So we focus more on camaraderie, and if you're a team player, and fundamentals, we focus on we just want to help you get in there and stay consistent. The theme recently was just change and staying motivated, and what's the word? Accountability.
Yeah.
Getting in there, because some people with work and kids just have trouble getting in there. Yeah. So they're getting a text message or a call from me, and I'm like, hey, like,
where are you at? No. Same way, if you didn't log in today and I sat here on Zoom wave, and she's like, can you do it right now? Yeah, actually, nothing. And then she's like, oh crap, let me go change. Like, they get that, like, I wasn't busy. I am going to help her, actually.
No, I get that. I'll be right there. I'm like, where were you like last night when I was texting you?
Yeah, no. But I mean, they still show up because we do hold our clients accountable.
Yeah.
That's why we have Snap and TikTok and anything that
To
they
see the
do,
content, because nowadays,
they'll post their content but not send it to me.
okay.
I'm a social media manager. I can pretty much do anything that
These things, it's like, oh, you want to be my client? Okay, well,
see.
sign here, and then it's like, can I add you on social media? Can I add you on Facebook? Can I add you on Snapchat? Yeah, can I?
Like to Snap as they're working out because they're doing their own thing, but they don't put it on social media.
Oh,
To
okay.
them, it's
Snap.
different.
Yeah, right. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's what's not
On my Snap.
I have to them on the Facebook and some Instagram.
Or
Right.
implement too. So a lot of my clients end up doing it that way, and I like it better for two reasons. They can video right there, and I can save it to my phone.
Yes, there you go. It's true.
So it's like on this day, you said you didn't hate this, so like,
So what's this? What's going on right here?
because everything they do falls back on us at this point when they're in our on our program. So if they cheat on our program and they don't tell us, the results will show, but that shows on us too. So I always tell my clients, like, don't cheat on me, man.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
if you cheat on you, that's on you.
I'm actually going to use that one.
But don't cheat on me,
Yeah.
because you're cheating on me, because now you're a part of me. You signed my program. We're doing this together. You're part of me. So if you're cheating yourself, you're cheating me. And I have a harder time cheating people.
Yeah.
I can cheat myself all day. It's my worst enemy. But when I know I'm going to be hurting somebody else or it's going to reflect on someone else, you best believe I'm going to work my ass off. And my clients are they're getting it. It's clicking.
It's just like our kids. We have to set the tone.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So use that.
Hey, I'm gonna have it. You're cheating on don't cheat on me, man. What are some of the biggest problems that you're having with your clients currently?
I'm not really. They're so consistent. We've already maintained a good relationship. Most of my clients have had 4 years, 5 years.
That's great.
My newer clients, I think the hardest thing is them sending me their numbers.
Like
Like
weighing,
because they don't want to see their numbers, but then they see them and they're like, oh my god,
I
it's
get
just
that.
getting them to go do it again. Y'all did it 30 days ago. Like, let's go 21 days. Every 21 days, just give me those numbers. Or the next time we'll get the numbers. And I know that's when they're making excuses, like they haven't been staying on it. They need a little bit more time to get their asses together for the numbers to add up to what I think they should have already been.
Right.
So they're trying. They're cheating.
I know. Don't cheat.
That's probably
Trust the technique of your professional. Trust the technique of your trainer.
They show up and show out.
We need the data points. We need the hard work. We're here rooting for you guys.
Consistency. If you say you want to do it twice a week, and that we're training twice a week, we need to train twice a week. Like, don't sit there and say twice a week, and every week you're only coming on a Wednesday. Oh, because it was middle week. It's like. And then they're like, well, we already paid you. No, you paid me for you to come twice a week, though.
I like the clients that show up gung-ho, ready, like maybe off a pre-workout or with their headphones. All right, just come in. I need you in here immediately.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah. Clients that when I'm having kind of like they come in and they're like,
yeah.
I usually notice right away that like I have a thing, but they'll kind of be like, and they'll just, I don't know, it's just, Mario is probably one of my favorites as far as eating. He eats be like, oh my god, the seasoning on this was like freaking amazing. Or he'll take a picture, put it on Facebook, just like I feel better. Or he's constantly like, and food's his love language. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like he's obsessed with the meal plan now. He's obsessed with my food. He's obsessed with
eating. It's easy to get obsessed with the meal plan. You just have to try it.
And you just have to
try it. Right. I'm telling you, the minute we begin to eat the correct way, your thinking is different. You're more fulfilled. Your thinking becomes clear, and you legitimately feel like you're thriving. You know, one thing.
Hashtag not hangry.
God, especially for women. So the two clients that I found have the roughest time hitting that 5 meals are nurses and teachers.
Yeah.
The biggest excuse I've heard is no time. Guys, you have to make time for your body, for your longevity, for your health. It's important.
Nurses, because they need to be savvy. They're taking care of other people.
Yeah.
So if anybody, our nurses should be.
First off, kudos to you guys. My heart goes out to you and what you do in your profession.
Yeah.
It's tough to deal with patients and
then life.
Man, and then family members who like, we get it. We understand. We care about you guys. We wouldn't
I have discounts for, I have single mom discounts. I also have nurse, teachers, uh, police officers. I do meal prep for police officers, and they'll go and heat their meals up. The stripes.
You do it.
Yeah.
So I've got people asking.
Yeah, meal prep service. That's what I was telling you. I prep my meals myself right now because I was prepping them out, like having someone else do them and paying the 30%, whatever. And then I realized
I might go do this.
I can do it myself. I have the permit.
What do you cook?
So I cook everything. It just depends on the person. You can go to my website. At the very bottom of my website, I have a likes and dislikes list that everybody fills out, which is food preference list. If they don't like it, I don't cook with it. I don't put it in their meals. But I do have nutritional content, ingredients that will have the same nutritional value. So if they didn't like onions and bell peppers and all those things, I'm not going to cook with that, but I will definitely subsidize something that they like that can go into it, like okra, or you know what I mean, something that has the texture, it still has the ingredients.
So it's somewhat custom.
Very custom. Very custom. I don't do any. Yeah, it's very
just
no.
Wow.
Everybody's is tailored to them.
Unique. Yeah. It's like a lot of people that I know cook in bulk. Like,
no.
There's meat, we're getting chicken, and rice and broccoli. Nothing like it.
Narrows down, like the way my clients are. It's like I do healthy ingredients. So on that list, you put. Like, I eat this normally at breakfast, lunch, dinner. It gives me recipes, a guideline of what you want. So people are like, I like tacos on Tuesday, whatever. But you can substitute the beef or ground turkey, lean ground turkey, or lean ground chicken. There's always something you can do to get all that nutrient and all the macros that the person needs
for you.
That will taste good to them.
And taste good.
Exactly. You're not gonna it's just it's really very cool. Tailored. Cool. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, because I have 2 forms. If you don't fill out those forms, you don't even get a consultation with me. It just because liability issues, and we are registered under the state, they have to. So I have one that's a questionnaire that tells me where you work out, what you do, go get your body comp scan, what your daily routine's like. That's one form. And then the other form is your likes and dislikes and food preference list. What do you normally eat? What do you like to eat? What you don't like to eat? You just click on all the boxes, and it sends it to me, and then I build recipes literally based on that. And your macros are based on, your body comp scan content. And we'll sit down on the first, and we'll talk about it. And every 21 days, we do a follow-up.
Great.
I don't do 30, I do 21. Because it's so dramatic in 21 days. You know what I mean?
That's that's my
cut.
Threshold.
Yeah.
That's the cutoff date.
So we
want to see things happen.
Yeah. Cool. And then after the first 21 days, every 30 days after that, we alter the meal plan, change up the regimen, whatever we need to do. So.
And it's good to change it up, too. Why is it so good to change it up?
Well, because our body would get used to it. Yeah. So that's what I always tell my clients, too, is you rotate out your proteins. So if it's turkey, chicken, and fish, 1 meal's turkey, 1 meal's chicken, 1 meal's fish. So your body is not constantly eating chicken.
So you don't get so damn bored, basically.
Dude, no. Well, and your body gets used to processing chicken 4 days a week, back to back.
Right.
Or chicken, turkey, fish, that oil just pushed out all of that. Now we start over, and our body never metabolizes the same because it's always constantly changing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And that's how I.
Taking shock.
Yeah, that's how I keep. That's just how I've been doing it. But it's effective for my clients. I've had very extreme clients. My dad was my first one.
Really?
He was at 38 weighs.
My mom didn't like the way I trained.
He walks around at 34, 32.
Oh, good.
My mom was one of my clients before my brother's wedding. She was an 18.
Yeah.
And we got her down to a 10.
That's fantastic.
So, but
when I trained my mom, I was a young trainer. I was probably like 24, 25.
I trained her.
I tried to kill her.
No.
She was already.
See, my brother's a trainer. My older brother.
Yeah.
And he does powerlifting and stuff. So, she could have easily gone to my brother to train her, but she was like, "You're a female body." I just,
And a lot of females prefer female trainers.
But I'm a female. When I started training, I preferred a male. I've never had a female trainer.
Yeah.
There's too many female trainers. This is a male-dominated industry.
Pros and cons with males and females. I think as I shouldn't even say this, as a fitness professional, I think get a sample here and there, see what works for you, because it's just like designer clothes. Like each clothing brand you wear makes you feel a certain way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're all good.
Yeah.
They're all like great brands, but try them all out.
Yeah. I mean, that's what those consultations are for.
Exactly.
It's speaking by.
Sample, yeah.
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 I like that, but yeah, send them to me. Let me know.
I sure will. That'd be great.
But other than that, what are you working towards now besides, taking care of your son, your business, and everything? What's your ultimate goal? Do you have anything like you want to do, like write a book or do your own podcast or something?
I've always thought about doing a podcast. I really enjoy spreading the message of health and wellness to people. I've sat on a lot of ideas for a long time. One idea that I've had was getting people in front of me, not necessarily like a podcast, but more in a more intimate setting with seminars, like wellness.
Q&As.
Q&As at the end, but presenting, like when I first saw, who was it? A comedian, Eddie Murphy. I was like, oh my God, that guy's so funny. And I thought it was like improv. I was like, holy shit, this guy's hysterical. But now that I'm older, I'm like, it's all a skit. Like he says the same thing in every scene, but even down to the facial expressions, just the chuckle, it's all rehearsed and scripted. Um, so I want to come up with something like that so I can present a couple of messages to
So maybe like you want to be a motivational speaker.
a motivational speaker. I actually got certified as a life coach at one point.
Yeah.
I never had any clients because the training took off so fast. It's like holy shit! Like once I became an independent trainer, I reached out to my buddy at All Good Fitness, and Aaron got me in, and then like it was like clients, clients, clients. So great, okay, perfect. So I never really had to pursue life coaching, but the structure for success in physical success and mental health success is still there. And I feel like I can pass on.
You should
a
do
little-
it.
I think I'm going to. I just need to get
Get
an
stuff
understanding.
together.
Yeah, yeah.
That we could, pile
That'd be
something.
great. I think that would be really fun.
Yeah, I think that would be a great. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And have it filmed and just YouTube channel it. And
There's so many ways you can just like record it, like you're saying, and then distribute
put it
it. You
out.
just put it out. Yep.
Yeah,
That would be super awesome.
Phel Me does all that too. We do social media and podcast production.
So I'm actually going to how can I find you? Are you
Yeah, and I have websites for everything. So it's PHABPHITCC, and then there's phelme.com for podcast production. On all my websites, it says we, like, oh, we do this for you. It's me and all my personalities. So it's we. But that's it. I don't have a team. I am the team. So I do everything. I'm a certified,
So we should probably collab a little bit more. I like the vibe. I like the questions.
Is we put our own content out. So it stays private. We're not getting outsourced people to come in and help us take care of things. We just do it. And I can come like film you anytime you want because I think building a portfolio would be great.
I think so too. It's good to have content.
And getting some more reviews on your page. Social media manager, I just like
to get more people page.
Clients that those reviews would be essential, especially if you do something on Google, like the Google reviews.
Okay.
And that'll help just kind of, you don't really need a whole lot more clients because you're doing well, but there's always that expectation that you need clients that you want to help and that you want it readily available. So getting your other clients to put reviews out, when people read that, they're like, oh, he's bomb.
Yeah. So that's the thing, is just kind of rehearsing something and presenting it to people.
Let's do it.
What else? Is there anything else that I wanted?
Are you working today? You're single. Are we waiting? Are you waiting?
I think I'm waiting a little longer. It's tough. After.
Have you been separated from your baby mama?
It's been almost a year.
Oh, see, that's
and I tried dating a little bit, but it didn't go like I had hoped. You know what I'm saying? It's tough to dive right back in.
I'm 7 months. 7 months single. Probably only 4 months not having communication with him. He was like, we separated and then we dated after that. You know what I mean? He's who I dated after that, and then realized, okay, like this really isn't working. Started trying to date somebody else. That didn't work either. Mm-hmm. And that's when I realized I'm ready.
It's kind of like you have to retreat and find out who you are all over again, especially coming out of an 8-year relationship. Like that's a massive amount of time. You know what I'm saying?
See, mine was only 5.
Even so. 5 and even a year is a long time.
But think about it, like, I'm in my self-healing journey and so are you, and we're talking so upbeat about so many things that can help other people. This podcast, when me and him first separated, I started the Phel Me Podcast because I wanted people to feel me, feel what I was going through. I was, publicly humiliated on Facebook about, like, our entire situation. I, lost clients, I gained clients, I lost friends, I gained friends.
People make mistakes, and we're all, like, throw the first stone.
Yeah, but this podcast has really been therapeutic for me.
Great.
Because it's not all about me. I want to talk about y'all. I want to talk about, things in the world and what we can do to help people.
Yeah.
And I think that us being the type of people we are, like, people are going to be very lucky to be in a relationship with us later when we're ready.
It's hard. And I was thinking, I was like, what if she asked me, what's my biggest weakness? Yeah. And honestly, I think it's I'm too nice.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like, nice. I think that, but at the same time, like, holy shit, well, like, is that really a weakness?
Mine's being naive. I believe a lot of people aren't out to hurt other people or myself. So I trust right away, and then they end up being pieces of shit, and I'm like, God dang it!
Right.
Like, how come I can't? I'm naive.
Why can't you see the difference? Yeah, and it's hard.
But now I'm like on guard with everyone.
Mm-hmm. Because
I'm going by vibrations now. Since meditating and going through the spiritual journey that I've been going through, I can literally. I'm trying to trust my gut now. Before I thought my gut was.
So there's a sense of discernment. You're able to kind of tell. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like when I started reaching out to people for my podcast, I reached out to people that in the past helped me or had the same mission as me or currently has the same mission.
Great choice.
Or someone that doesn't put people down. Like, there's no negativeness on Facebook, even like a short innuendo. You don't have that. Clifton and his wife.
Yeah.
I have a couple of other guests coming on later. Mr. Wendell, he's a comedian. But every person that I'm bringing on has given back. You know what I mean? Right. And I really want people to realize the type of people y'all are in the community and give y'all a chance to like speak your truth, because like how else are you going to do it just like constantly on Facebook?
There's so much going on when you're trying to get the truth out of people, the juice, the magic stuff that makes them genuine. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right, well, how can I bottle? I know I've got great concepts that can help people. How can I bottle this up so I can present it to people? Yeah. And so, being on this podcast is a great way to. So I'm very appreciative, very thankful.
Yeah,
I'm super thankful to be here.
You're super busy, and I like to do recordings on Fridays so I can put my intro and drop it.
It was a great time.
And I might actually release this a little earlier than the first, just because this needs to be heard, for one, and I'm super excited. And I have a new software that edits like super fast. But any shout outs? Do you want to do any shout outs right now?
Just shout outs to All Good Fitness. Shout outs to my clients, guys. I hope y'all are watching. Follow Felicia. She's really inspirational, really cool lady. If you need any meal preps, let's give it a shot. I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Guys, we're here to change y'all's lives. Like, I'm super excited.
And life expectancy, guys. Longevity.
Longevity is important. We need to make those habits now. We're not getting any younger.
And honestly, we need to make habits now that our kids are seeing, because they are our future. So everything that y'all put in your mouths and everything that they see y'all order at the restaurants is going to sit in their head.
Hard.
So you make healthy choices all the time.
Let's break a pattern. Like my kid always wants the fast food, McDonald's. But if I was there cooking, he would be eating healthier stuff.
See, my lucky if they get to eat out. So meal prep with me now. So they work
because your meal prep
out. Yeah. So they're all food handlered and everything. My middle son is going to be a personal trainer, but by 17, because he's homeschooled, so he's graduating a year early.
It's good that he's starting so early.
Well, he just, he's mature. He was the one with the heart condition that had a double ablation heart surgery when he was 8. And so they were like, he's going to be a small child, no growth, whatever. He's 6 foot.
Wow. What about that story?
And it's because the heart health food that he's been eating his entire life, cutting out.
So people should understand how big food is for their health.
A lot of people are like, oh my God. No, actually your body doesn't need it, so stop. I don't do dairy. And we do cheese here and there, but I don't constantly I don't let them drink milk. We don't do ice cream. My middle son doesn't even like cake. No sweets. Just grew up not liking it because I don't offer it unless it's a birthday.
Because you don't offer it, right?
I don't.
Tough. How do you say no? How do you tell your kid whenever the masses are doing ice cream and all? How do you say no? How do you just say
They don't ask for it because it's just never like Garrison, it's my youngest, he never asks for ice cream. He asks for Takis. That's like the worst thing that he wants. And I'll be like, once a week, because it tears up the inner lining of his stomach. It's not good for you, but I'm not going to deprive him if he's had a good report card. You know what I mean? And when we go out to eat, do they want to get a burger? Yeah, but hardly. They always get, like, my oldest is a salad eater, always been. Chicken and salad, like, that's his thing. It's just, since they were little, I always cooked. I've had my meal prep service for so long now. Yeah. I'm going on 7 years.
Yeah.
That I really don't have to say no. What I have to say no to is going out to eat at a restaurant when we can't afford it. I'm a single mom. So sometimes I'm like, we can't, 4 of us go out to eat.
And some of my brain like, hey, enough's enough.
Like, they're just, but they're bougie eaters. Like, if we go to the meat market, they're like, can we do the lobster tail this time? Come on. Like, can we do the high-end swordfish? Absolutely, because they're asking for good things.
For good things, right? And you're willing to do that because it's good, it's healthy for them.
Yeah, and we don't do carbonated beverages, and well, Sprite because it goes by vodka.
Kudos to this. I know, man.
But yeah, like, I don't know. They get monsters every now and then. They're the rehab, so it's coconut water. It's 20 calories. It's like not much.
What flavor is that?
And the Arnold Palmer.
Oh, okay. I like the white one. I'm not sure which one or the orange. Yeah, it's not.
This one's not carbonated.
See, I love carbonation. I'm so bad. I do a lot of. We all have our vices. That's right.
What's your favorite carbonated beverage then?
Oh God, I'm gonna say Diet Dr. Pepper. It's probably the worst one.
Mine's cream soda.
Cream soda, right?
Cream soda and the little things.
I love those.
So good.
I grew up with cream soda. Actually, my dad. So my dad had a big influence on my life. Actually, if we're going back talking about parents, right? He would always sit me down and we would read scripture and this and that. So that's how I became spiritual. And got good morals and different stuff like that. Learned my patience because he taught me golf. Golf is a game of patience. You have to have that. Have you ever played?
Yeah.
I fucking hate it. Right? You're like, I hate golf.
I like tennis.
Tennis?
It's fast paced, but I played softball.
Softball's great.
I wanted to hit the thing that I'm running back and forth on my catcher, okay? Like,
Catch.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I didn't have to run all of them.
So, yeah, I learned patience through that, and but he would always be there reading, and it would be cream soda, and he would put peanuts in there, and we'd watch the Three Stooges. Yeah, it's classic, man. But that's kind of how I got my patience and my loving heart. I got my mom, right? Mother's love, like the ideal.
So are you the only child? Do you have siblings?
I've got 3. I've got an older brother who's 10 years older, and then a younger sister who's 5 years younger.
Okay, you're the middle child.
I'm the middle child, yeah. I'm the middle
child. That's why we're the way we are, because they say the middle child always, like, is a little mature, you know what I mean? Like, middle child syndrome.
Right, yeah. So, and, so older brother, younger sister, and mom was always there just when I was in trouble, when I was doing good, showing me just pure love. So that's kind of how I identified that concept.
Yeah. My dad's a goofball, but he taught me patience too. He's a very patient man, very patient. And
I guess you gotta be as a parent.
He would always tell me, patience is key, and everybody's priorities are different.
Right.
And
everyone's priorities is different.
Had you not told me that all growing up, I don't think I would have the patience for some people, because I remember that all the time when they put priorities, I would put first, and I have to reciprocate back to him.
That's great advice.
Everybody's priorities are different, so we have to accept everyone because their priority is different. I put my kids first, and then I put my business second, and then goes from there. So any man that's going to be in my life, you're going to be third, fourth, fifth. I'm sorry, because I have all these other things. because that's my priority, and so Dad always made sure, like, I'm not ashamed of my priorities, and I shouldn't make someone feel ashamed of theirs or judge them for theirs, because it is very different. And so, that resonates, every day with me, especially when people.
That's such good advice on all
Kudos,
levels.
Daddy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
My dad always said,
and then my mom always said, put yourself first. Like, you got to be good for others.
It's true.
And I didn't start learning that until I became a mom. And then I was like, oh shit. Mm-hmm. If I'm not good, my house is
my kids have to in the house, right? Yeah. I've always looked at it like that, because like a lot of people get out of one relationship and it's like, all right, let's go to the next one, but they're freaking such a mess. It's like you can't present yourself a mess. Get your ducks in a row. Have your cards ready. Yes, we were ready. Yeah.
Oh, gosh, because literally went through that this week. I'm like, whoa, I'm not ready. I left the guy at the bar and everything. I'm like, not ready.
Oh my gosh, I know. It's been a ride, but let this be a message to whoever's listening. Gather yourself. If you're going through a breakup, gather yourself. Read some books. I do a lot of audiobooks when I'm commuting. I don't ever listen. I rarely ever listen to music. It's more content or audiobooks. I've got a subscription to audible.com, and I'll get an audiobook every month. And actually the top CEOs read about 4 audiobooks a month, which I was like fucking staggered by that statistic.
Oh, yeah.
So I've noticed by reading audiobooks, I'm able to have a better attitude, a clearer outlook, and more perspective. So things are fresh. I'm experiencing life with a certain freshness versus falling into the same patterns that could kind of just start spiraling downward. I always have audiobooks. David Goggins again is another one. I've recently read 11 Rings by Phil Jackson. So hearing the stories about Jordan and Kobe and how he got the Bulls together to win those championships and the Lakers to talk about like just a conductor of so many people. You know what I'm saying? The guy has 11 NBA championship rings. So he took like tribal aspects. He took Buddhist monk aspects and brought it to high caliber of Jordan, Pippen, Kobe, Shaq, and all these players, and brought them to all these egos and brought them together. And he was just this conductor coordinator of NBA championships. It was wild, man. It was a great book.
His
name. You have to read that book.
His name's named after Penny Hardaway.
Really?
Anthony.
Great mouthful there.
Garrison Anthony. After Penny. Penny was one of my favorite.
Great. And Michael Jordan said he had trouble guarding Penny. So yeah, Penny Hardaway's the bomb. He was good.
Her name on my baby's after.
Let's see. Any other good audiobooks? There's some by there's one called Unfuck Yourself. That was pretty good, kind of identifying mental patterns and habits that literally fuck yourself. So that was a good one. I don't remember the yeah. There's 2 beliefs, empowering or limiting. And the more we begin to identify our empowering and limiting beliefs through identifying self-narrative, like what's the stories that we tell ourselves? Did you tell yourself, I don't have time, I feel too weak, I can't, I won't? Or are you more like, this is good, I can do this, we got this, yeah, like, are you positive or negative? You know what I'm saying?
Full, half empty.
Exactly. Yeah, so let's see. There was one more book. Yeah, but if you do audiobooks, I'm telling you, like it will start to
like positive, influential vibes. I love that. I'm gonna start doing that a little bit more.
Not regret it.
I read a book when I was really young from my therapist, Pat Hudson. It's called The Goal-Oriented Woman. So that's how I live my life. So that's how come I have so many certificates. I was a dental assistant first. I got my degree in education. So I was a 3rd grade teacher before I became a trainer. I was all these things, right? And now I'm a certified, I'm a published photographer, a certified makeup artist, I'm a published model, I'm a right?
Is there nothing you can't do?
No, but this book taught me, like, be goal-oriented. If you hit your goal, there's another goal. Hit that goal, there's another goal. And I literally live my life like that. Like, I read it when I was 18. So it has, like, I revisited it.
Yeah, wow.
I don't want to cry. Give me a second. So I found the book going through, like, all my stuff. Like, I still haven't unpacked, right, from my ex-husband, and I lost this book for a while. So I recently found it and read it, and it, like, holy shit, like 20 years later, I'm still getting new messages out of it. Like, I should have been reading it over and over all of these years instead of just
we have to revisit the books that we read because we're not the same person.
Me as an adult, like really, like you know what I mean. But that book, it sits with me. And then recently, the book of Soul.
Okay.
I started just because this is spiritual, but not spiritual. It's about the angels and different things, and I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I am at, you know, with my reading. But I think I need to read more.
Audio. When you're commuting, like you have to start intaking that content.
Dude, I can go sometimes in silence in my car though, because
that's pretty good. Because I like to reflect a lot.
Sometimes I just need it because at home it's loud. I got yeah. Then at work, even when I'm here, it's not loud, but I'm working, so my head's loud. And so sometimes I'm in the car, I can just hear the muffler, and I can
just the hum, the quiet hum. Yeah.
Isn't that weird? It's like a self-soothing, like a baby.
Like self-soothing.
Yeah.
Exactly. You need to be soothed. So you're probably preparing yourself for work or the task at hand.
So I constantly cut, and I'm like, oh, the radio's not even on. Like I just already got there.
Sometimes I do that too. Yeah. That's awesome.
So glad you came in.
It was great experience. It was really fun.
I've been following you for years and years, and we've been kind of here and there, like banter on Facebook or whatever. I always say, you know, good job, handsome. You're freaking doing it, or you say or reply back to like my little stories, and we kind of been keeping in touch with each other, and our goals are pretty much the same as far as like what we want to do in the world today and what influence we want to put out there. And I just love that about you. You're welcome on my show anytime and anything we can do.
It was a pleasure to be here. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to a visit soon, and we definitely do need to talk about collaborating. Yeah. That'd be super fun.
I'm excited. So I'm just going to shout out to some of my sponsors real quick. Bobcats Tattoo, thank you so much for everything you do for me. Also, Fine Line Tattoo in Kingsville, thank you. I also want to thank Ion Technology for always having my back and keeping me going too, you know what I mean? And am I missing anybody? I don't think I'm missing anybody. I might be missing somebody. Oh, yes, 361 Blues Radio, Mario Lopez, not the Big by the Belt Hand Phone. Thank you so much for everything you do. Mr. Wendell, Wednesday with Mr. Wendell is a podcast that I sponsor every Wednesday. He has new guests. He's a comedian. He's doing some big things. Y'all check him out. Who else? I think that's it. And all my clients, I love y'all. Youth Odyssey, y'all have been tremendous, and I appreciate y'all. Health, Fitness, Well Business. Also, thank you for everything that you have been doing. And we have a CMOS little meet and greet thing tomorrow, Q&A if y'all want to try some CMOS. We'll be at Cole Park at 2:30. Come out. What else? I think that's it. That's all my juice. Yeah.
It's a lot of juice.
Hey, they all believe in me and what I'm doing here. And I'm so appreciative of the energy that they give me.
It's great to see you work, and I'm really glad to be here. Yeah. Great energy. I'm telling you, good vibes, great energy. Hopefully you guys benefit from the message.
They will.
Great.
And I'll have all the links in the bio. Everything that you'll need to get a hold of Andrew will be available very fast. So thank you all so much for tuning in.
Thank you guys so much.
# you feel me because you feel me.